Hello, I'm Philip Sneed, President and CEO of the Arvada Center for the Arts and Humanities. I hope you're staying healthy and safe. Many of you have already given to our campaign, and we're so grateful for your support. Our goal of raising $1 million by September 1st is a top priority right now. If you've donated, thank you. While we can't open our doors to the public just yet, we are continuing several classes virtually, including classes for our Dance Academy students. This week, you're going to meet the Arvada Center's dance coordinator, Christina Noel Adcock. Christina has been teaching dance at the center for nearly 35 years. She says she literally grew up in a dance studio because she comes from a family of dancers. Christina has performed professionally in Chicago, San Diego, and Denver as a soloist and principal performer prior to taking on her role with the Arvada Center Dance Academy. While deeply rooted in artistic tradition, Christina's instructional approach embraces science and modern developments in ballet technique with an emphasis on injury prevention. Christina is an expert at identifying, resolving, and preventing pain in our dance students, and we're so fortunate to have her at the center.
I just love teaching here. Back in 1987, my partner at Colorado Ballet was teaching a Friday ballet class here, and he and his wife were going to go teach at a university on the East Coast. And he said, it's a really cool little place to teach. You should go take my class. So I'm like, okay, sure. My father said I should take the job. You've got people here who are going to be a support staff for you. This is going to be a great learning experience. He was Grandpa Rudy here because he was my ballet teacher. So he would come into the studio and coach the kids on their acting, and he would pull them aside and go, you know, you need to do this and this and this in order to make that step work. And he'd go over and he'd go, I didn't do anything. Mom and Dad were Nikki and Noel, and they were a ballet version of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. They would perform 2 or 3 weeks in the club dates, and then they would do nightclubs like at the famous Palmer House in Chicago. They opened for Patti Page, Sammy Davis Jr., and then eventually they became headliners on their own. So while they were touring, I was living with my grandmother, and her ballet studio was on the first floor, her apartment was on the second floor, and her attic that was full of costumes was on the third floor. I teach 1 week of the little biddies, the 5 and 6 year olds, the fairy tale camp in the summer. Other than that, because of my left foot and the trauma that it's taken, I can't teach the really little kids anymore. My first husband was a promoter, and he promoted Colorado Ballet where I was a dancer. And he was killed by gang initiation rites in July of 1993. It was a summer of violence in Colorado, and it was a really, really hard time. And I did all the grieving that they suggest you do. And at one point I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So I started exercising too much, became too muscle bound, ruptured my Achilles tendon. I was really suicidal for about a year, and it was the people and the students here at the Arvada Center that helped pull me through it. And I just remember Louis saying something to me at one point. He said, you are a happy baby. If anything happens to me, be a happy baby. Make a difference. And so that's what I did. Took a while to come out of it. I processed a lot of my grief through the ballets that the kids here danced, and interestingly enough, a lot of those kids who did those pieces are now primo members of my staff. So that is a huge difference. They helped pull me through it. And then in 2004, my foot just started aching, and the doctor and us thought it was just because I was working it too hard, which is power 1 for me. And in the next 8 days, I had 4 fasciotomies cutting me all the way down to the bone. And the pain was intense, and my mom and dad were there, and they were in tears because they couldn't help me at all. And when I got into prep, they looked at me and they said, you have to sign this paper. I'm like, what is it? He said, we may have to amputate your foot. And if it is that bad, the toxins have gone all the way up into your calf. We may have to amputate above the knee. And I said, you do that and don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. And I prayed and I prayed. Makes me tear up now. Because I was at a point where I was thinking I wasn't making enough difference in the children's lives. I wasn't doing enough for them. I was lacking in some way. And so I prayed really hard to God. Let me keep my leg, and I promise you, I will not stop teaching children, and I will not stop making a difference in their lives. Please. And he saved my leg. And so long as I have breath in my body, I will teach. My plan is when it comes, I'm going to be 64 in a few weeks. When it comes time for me to retire, I plan on doing what my dad did. Whoever takes over the program, I hope they'll let me come and sit in and watch class and coach the kids on their pantomime and work with them on their acting skills and pull them aside like my dad did and say, you need to do this and this and this. And then look at the teacher very innocent and go, I didn't say anything. They just did it all on their lonesome.
Christina has overcome some difficult obstacles in her career, but these challenges have made her a better teacher. Our students have gone on to dance professionally thanks to Christina's guidance and instruction. We look forward to the day when we can reopen our doors for in-person classes and live performances. Your support can help us do this. Please consider making a gift to Reignite the Arts.